Leonard Williams, he was a fighter of our community. He fought for the people. He gave to the people. And he always looked out for the little man, the poor man. And he always fought for people's rights. And he was a great man. And he is also a great athlete. He played football for University of Delaware. First black football player to ever play at University of Delaware. He was also the first black captain at the University of Delaware.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
On behalf of the Williams and Briscoe family, I thank you for this honor that you have bestowed on my husband, Judge Williams. I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to glimpse into his personal life and try to figure out what made him so passionate about people and what made him such a great philanthropist. And I'd like to go back to the comment that was made earlier about Leonard L. Williams, the man, viewed life simply with an intellect to understand and negotiate its complexities masterfully. Those are very powerful words that his children use to describe their father. And whenever I reflect on their words, I think about the core values that Mr. Claudius and Mrs. Gertrude Williams instilled in their family and their children. At home, there was a great emphasis placed on spirituality. The children attended church all day Sunday according to many stories. He was a member of the Boy Scouts club there at the church, and he developed leadership skills. And he developed his work ethics from his father, who owned a hauling business. So Lenny and his siblings, his brothers, would help their father move furniture and haul other goods as teenagers or young kids. And at one time, Leonard and his brother Welford had a job shining shoes on Market Street. So from a very early age, he understood the importance of hard work, and thanks to his parents for nurturing their family and raising such a beautiful family, a very wholesome family of children. It was probably very challenging during that time for two young people to provide for a family of 15 kids, but they made it possible. And Lenny often told the story about how his father encouraged the children to negotiate and debate and voice their opinions about issues. They would read the newspaper and discuss issues. So if you ever have an opportunity to listen to a debate in the Williams family, I think you'll be very impressed. And I think that was an excellent opportunity for him to learn how to formulate opinions about things that were very important to him in his life. And he started reading the New York Times every day when he was 19 years old. And he read the New York Times every day that he possibly could until he died. And that was very important to him to be able to read not only the New York Times, but the News Journal, sometimes the Wall Street Journal. And talked on the phone about different issues. And he was just a very, very knowledgeable person, and he believed in education and academic achievement. And when we talk to the kids in the second and third generation, you'll see how much they appreciate education. And he made several comments that were published about his opinion regarding educational pursuits. And I'd like to highlight at least 3 of those comments that he made during a meeting at OPESA 107C, and Tony Allen was able to capture this comment. He said, "Our history and our future are inextricably linked, and we, all of us, are beholden to both of them." And that's something that we must always remember. We cannot forget our history. And I thank the Howard High School Alumni Association for helping to preserve history of our high achievers, not only Judge Williams, but the other members of the Wall of Fame. And the next comment was, quality education must be demanded. That's very important for our children. We must demand quality education for our kids so that they can have a success story to tell one day and to achieve great goals. They can have a growth mindset, and they will be able to believe that their success is totally dependent upon their hard work. And the third comment is a comment that my husband made during an interview when he was being honored at the University of Delaware. He was one of the co-captains during the Towson versus University of Delaware football game. And he wanted people to realize that he was not only an athlete, he was a scholar. And he competed in the classroom as fiercely as he competed on the gridiron. And I go back to my original statement that his children formulated, so that they'll always remember that Leonard L. Williams' command, "Use life simply with intellect to understand and negotiate complexities masterfully." And thank you very much for your time and the opportunity. I'd also like to recognize Garrett Williams. This is Judge Williams' youngest son.
A lot of the words spoken today were just really, really wonderful. And when we talk about the Toppin case and some of the people throwing stones at him, obviously you guys had one perspective of it, working with him and reading the news and living in that home with him, having him come home with the frustrations of trying a case 3 times because of racism in the jury, or reading those papers and hearing about some of those stones that were thrown at him as a young child, and seeing my father react to those things and seeing how frustrated he was, and at the same time, seeing how that fueled him to work harder, try harder, and never quit, and keep going and going and going. It's just an amazing thing to witness. And he didn't ask for a lot of thanks, but I can tell you that this award tonight, we'd be very, very appreciative of. Thank you very much.